Okay, Emma, let's take a look at your code here. So, what I have done is we're going to delete this because I just put it into a new class that I called Emma. So we're just going to delete this here, and that'll work for us just to get it done there, to make sure that it's in the right class. So here is your main method. Let's see where that ends right there. It looks like that works. Public static void. We need to move this right here up above that to make that work. Hit delete a couple times. Okay, so here we go. Everything looks, there's some things that are a little bit interesting here that we can talk about fixing, and then some things down here that need fixing. So in this area right here, so you've done a good job of trying. That's the most important thing. Right here, this line, and this line are something that you really don't want to mess with. This is part of the method that allows you to create a random number. If you take a look at this high and low, and you'll see right here, this right here, remember the scanner class when we talked about this? This is called a parameter. These are random int low, int high. These are the parameters right here. And these parameters equate to, this is calling random int. You'll notice this random int and that random int are the same name. And these are the parameters sent to this to figure out what the random number is. Now, once it does this, it gets the random numbers, it creates the random number, and then it returns the result, which is what roll is going to equal. You don't ever touch this line of code, these two lines of code. So we need to just move these someplace where you can touch them, hint, hint, right up in here. And those will work there. Now, another reason that they won't work in here is that these variables are just localized to this method right here, not to this method. So these will never, it doesn't understand what x is because there's no creation of the variable within this method. So we definitely have to move this up in this area. The question is, where do we move it? So let's take a look at it now. You got your scanner, right? Your import utility, so that looks good. And then right here, enter a number between 2 and 12. So this is not necessarily correct because all you want them to do is enter a number of rolls. Now this is where it'll get confusing with the variables that we got. Okay, so you want them to enter the number of rolls, and I'll just change that for you. Oops, I can't spell. Okay, man, I'm having problems today. There. So there. Now, you've got a variable x, and what you've done is you set that to equal the number of rolls. So here's a little hint. You may just want to change this and this around. Also, you may want to have a more descriptive variable name than x. What you want x to do, if you take this and move this up, why don't you have x hold the result of the random number? Now take a look down here. This right here, you have roll holding the value of the random number right there. So roll is holding the value of the random number, and that shouldn't be because you want roll to hold the value of the number of die rolls. So you're just going to have to change that. That'll kind of mess up the program actually. So definitely change this to either x or change this to result and have that equal result as well. It's just easier to read and easier to understand. And so this string message, this works. You don't have to change that. Except this right here is wrong because if you change this to roll, you're going to have to change that to roll. All right, so that works. This is called a for loop. In this for loop right here, you are going from a 0 count, which is 0 rolls, to when this number, 0 is, as it increments up, this is an incrementer. This is less than x, which is what your number of rolls should have been. So change that to roll, and that will be correct. This you want to change to hold your result. This works here. Move this. Where do you think you're going to move this? Okay, so a for loop, think about this. It's like a for loop allows you to do repeated actions over and over and over again. So think about, what's a good example of a for loop off the top of my head? Brushing your teeth? No, that's not a good one. How about breathing? You take a breathe in, you breathe out. It's kind of like, you think about, you're always breathing. It's pretty much a for loop for the length of your life. You're always going in and always breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out. If you're a healthy person. So every time, in this case, think about the random number being generated is the breath. And so you have a new random number every time it goes in, every time it completes the loop. So it starts here, goes down, once it hits here, it's checking to see, well, hold on a second, it's got to run through X amount of times. If you put 5 here, it's got to run through this this for loop 5 times. And so this is going to get rolled 5 times. And where do you think you would put this then, so that this would show a result 5 times? And I'll let you figure that out, hint, hint. And then this looks like it would be fine where it's at. You actually may want to move. No, you don't have to. You can leave that there. That's fine. This right here, where you had the initial 2 and 12, what this does, these are the arguments, like I told you before. They allow you to roll the dice to get a result between 2 and 12, and that's it. If you wanted to do from 1 to 99, 199. And that's pretty much how that works. I hope this helps. Hopefully it doesn't confuse you too much, and if it does, just ask me to clarify line numbers. So say you don't understand this line number or this line number or something like that, and I will try to be more clear. Good luck with it.